Hi guys, and welcome back to TomTalks, and we are here today to look back at the round of 16 and to, of course, preview the World Cup quarterfinals. Apologies about my voice, it's a bit hoarse from the England game on Monday. We'll be discussing England, we'll be discussing some of the controversies that have happened, we'll be discussing the refereeing performances, and also we'll be discussing some good games as well, but let's get into it. Canada, Morocco. Morocco getting the job done in the second half with a 3-0 win. I thought Canada looked decent, particularly in the first half. They just weren't taking their chances. They weren't testing the goalkeeper enough. Obviously, Saibari went injured. That's a big blow for Morocco and a real shame. He's been very good at this tournament, but Unahi grabbing a brace. Rahimi also scoring late on as well. Morocco cleared up at the end of the game and they showed their qualities as a team. Canada can hold their heads high. You know, this is the furthest they've ever got in a World Cup before, but I think they will feel somewhat disappointed they didn't get more from this game here, because they definitely had the chances too. France beat Paraguay 1-0 thanks to a Kylian Mbappe penalty. France were not at their best in this game, but and it was a bit of Desiree Doué magic to win the penalty. But I will say that Paraguay were absolutely atrocious in the way they were playing. Like their tackling was dirty, the penalty spot incident, and I think it was a disgraceful performance from the referee as well. Like, Paraguay did not get a single booking in the game. I don't know how. Like, some of the challenges were atrocious. Arguably, there should have been red cards. You know, someone literally did what got David Beckham sent off in that '98 final, and they got away with it. It was a disgraceful performance from Paraguay from that respect, and I'm very happy France won this game. And Mbappe, you know, getting the job done again, getting the French through. The game was also then marred by the disgusting comments from that senator to Mbappe, which is absolutely disgraceful. Just blatant, disgusting racism. And yeah, so, you know, I praised Paraguay for their very good performance against the Germans here, but any sort of praise I had for them is kind of gone out the water because of just the disgusting and blatant, like, fouling they did, and just that politician, like, an absolutely disgusting answer through, deservedly so. Paraguay are out, and hopefully that politician gets some sort of comeuppance, because their comments were quite frankly disgusting. Yeah, France are through, and yeah, goodbye Paraguay. You're not going to be missed. One of the surprises for me, Norway beat Brazil 2-1. I mean, Brazil had a penalty save from Bruno Guimaraes. Berg, obviously, the offside goal, but was a really end-to-end game. But Erling Haaland just proved why he's one of the best strikers in the world. I mean, fantastic header for the first goal, lovely finish for the second. And yeah, I mean, Brazil got a penalty that late on, which Neymar scored, but Norway got the job done. They cleared up. It was a really good game. It was two very good sides. And yeah, Norway deservedly through. For Brazil, a very disappointing end to this tournament. But when they've come up against decent teams, they've struggled. They were lucky to get a point against Morocco, nicked it against Japan, and then Norway just did them here. And, you know, Carlo Ancelotti is a very good manager, but this Brazil squad is just not up to scratch when it comes to the big boys. And as a result, they're out. And, yeah, Brazil is not the team they used to be. And I wonder how long it's going to take them to become genuine contenders at a World Cup again. We'll have to see. But what a result for Norway, their first ever World Cup quarter-final. And Erling Haaland is just, yeah, he's just a monster in the box. England beat Mexico 3-2. The reason for my voice. Oh, what a game. What a cracking game. You know, Two quick fire goals from Jude Bellingham, a lovely cross from Saka, which he heads home, and then we go straight down the pitch. Kane plays it across, Bellingham makes it 2-0. They then get a free kick. Quinhos is there, 2-1. And the Jarrell Kwanzaa red card, which I think's fair. You know, it is a dangerous tackle. It is a red card. So that's fair. We then get a penalty. Lovely run from Anthony Gordon, who I've got to say, you know, fair play. He had a bad first couple of games, but was really good off the bench against DR Congo and made his impact felt in this game. Kane scores the penalty. Mexico then get a penalty. I think it's a bit soft, the Kane challenge. I think, is it technically a foul? Maybe, but I think it was a bit soft, to be honest, and apparently the threshold is supposed to be higher in the box. So, you know, Jimenez scores the penalty, Pickford almost gets it, but we hold on with 10 men. Yeah, I've got to say, what a defensive performance. I mean, we can talk about how fantastic a player Bellingham is. We can talk about Kane and his instinct for goals. We can talk about how good Gordon was, that Saka had a very good game. Defensively, we were a lot better. I think, you know, the right-back problem is still a problem, but Jed Spence came off the bench and had an impact. So did Dan Burn and John Stones to help see the game out. Pickford made some fantastic saves. I mean, that Jimenez header in the first half, in particular, was a notable one. But England just got the job done here. And it was a difficult game. Mexico played really well in this game. They will feel somewhat hard done by, but I think England deserved it. And it was a real test of our character, a test of our performance, but we got the job done. And we've now got a quarter-final to come. And do you know what? I think I'm starting to believe. It's whether we do is another thing, but I think I'm starting to believe now. That performance was a very good performance, particularly defensively, where we have been struggling this tournament. But we got the job done. It was great to go out to a pub for the first time and watch a game. The atmosphere was pretty great for the most part. A few knobheads, but you know, such is the way in these current times. But was a great game. Enjoyed myself, and it's always nice to see a Brummie doing well, isn't it? Props to you, Jude Bellingham. You're a fantastic footballer. Spain beat Portugal 1-0. Was a very cagey game. I mean, Portugal didn't really go for it, to be honest. It was a lot coming from Spain. And they just nicked it right at the end. Mikel Moreno off the bench. Lovely ball through. Lovely finish. And Spain, I thought, would have won this a bit more comfortably. I think Portugal defended decently. Diogo Costa made some good saves. But, yeah, it's the end of the road for Portugal. It's been a disappointing tournament for them, I've got to say. They've not looked at the races at all. You know, Martinez, I just don't think he's a great manager. And I think they need to find someone who will get the best out of these players. Bruno Fernandes, for example, was not playing at his best at this tournament. Ronaldo, starting him all the time, didn't really work out for them. I mean, Gonzalo Ramos, obviously he's not at PSG anymore. He's going to AC Milan, but he's been playing in the best team in the world, arguably, for the last 2 years. You're not going to start him. But yeah, this Portugal team has been disappointing. Spain just about deserved to go through, I think. And yeah, I think Spain are a decent side, particularly defensively. Still yet to concede a goal at this tournament, but I don't see them going all the way. I don't really fancy this Spain team, to be honest. Belgium then battered the US 4-1. Charles de Ketelaere scoring twice and grabbing an assist. The US did get back into the game for a bit with that deflected Tillman free kick. They had some other decent chances, but Vanaken, who also grabbed an assist, and Lukaku taking advantage of some really poor defensive mistakes, particularly the third goal. What was the goalkeeper doing there? But Belgium comfortably and deservedly going through. I did expect Belgium to comfortably win this game. I thought the US would have given them more of a game, particularly with the red card that was overturned. I mean, that the corruption on that one was off the scale, really. Like, whatever you think of the red card, it's a red card. The decision's been made, and then the president of a country can just ring up FIFA and be like, I want this overturned. It's disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful. It's corrupt. And I'm very glad that the US went out of this tournament as a result. Belgium haven't particularly impressed me at this tournament. I mean, in this game they were impressive. The comeback against Senegal, I think, was pretty good too. So you've got to give credit to Belgium to get to the quarterfinals. Wouldn't have expected it, but yeah, it's going to be interesting, their game against Spain. And then we have two more games to talk about. Argentina, Egypt. A lot of controversy around this one. I've only seen the highlights, but Egypt went up through a nice header from Yasser Ibrahim. They should have had a second goal. I'm sorry. Whether it's a foul or not, it was that far back in the play that it should count towards the goal. For me, that should have been disallowed by VAR. It's that far back. It's the complete other side of the pitch. I don't think that should have been disallowed, to be honest. Messi obviously had a penalty, which, you know, debatable. It's saved very well by the goalie. Egypt's goalie made some fantastic saves during this game, I've got to say. Egypt then pick their heads up, go down the other pitch, and Zico scores. Lovely finish to make it 2. Argentina, though, they just turned it on at the end. Romero heads it in. Messi scores. And then, of course, there's the controversy. Salah looks like he's fouled in the box. It's a debatable one, but, you know, the Argentinian penalty was debatable. And then Argentina go down the other end of the pitch and score for Enzo Fernandez. I mean, the referee didn't have a good game in this one. It was another poor refereeing performance. Argentina can feel somewhat lucky. Egypt can feel very hard done by, particularly with that goal. I've got to say, the refereeing has been a lot worse in this period of the tournament. You know, the France-Paraguay game was terrible. Mexico-England, I think that penalty was a bit soft. And then in this game, the VAR goal disallowed. I think that's wrong. I think some of the penalty decisions, the refereeing has gone a bit downhill, I've got to say. Like, we had some very good refereeing at the start of the tournament, but particularly in this round, it has dropped off massively. And it's shown that the referees are either not great or the referees there's an ulterior motive there, allegedly. So, yeah, Egypt can feel very hard done by. They've accused them of corruption. And I think Egypt deserves to feel hard done by, to be honest. We'll see what happens for the rest of the tournament, but if it goes as predicted, I think there will be a lot of questions about this game in particular, and maybe in other games to come involving Argentina. We'll have to see. But yeah, Argentina are through. I've got to say, Argentina, some of their fans' behaviour has been very disgusting. I've seen some of that behaviour in clips of iShowSpeed. Yeah, Argentina are really not doing well against the allegations of against them and their beliefs, are they? They're really not there. But Argentina are through once again, very narrowly. Props to them for managing to get the win, I suppose. And then we finally have Switzerland versus Colombia, where Colombia, you know, Davinson Sanchez hits the crossbar. There's that big opportunity right at the end that is put over the bar. It was a bit of a cagey game, but Colombia probably should have won the game in extra time. And then in the end, Sanchez hits the crossbar again with his penalty. That's so unlucky that didn't go over. Akanji then puts it over the bar. And then Hernandez's penalty saved by Coburn. Switzerland are through. Switzerland are a team, I think, that doesn't quite get the respect and credit they deserve. This is another quarter-final for them, of course. They got to the quarter-finals at the Euros last time out. You've got to give them credit for how they've played. They've played really well. And, you know, Colombia were unlucky not to win this game, and I've enjoyed watching Colombia at this tournament. I think they were unlucky. But, yeah, Switzerland are through on penalties. And it's sadly, that is the last we'll see of Colombia. So, we'll get on to the quarterfinals now. First up, on Thursday, we got France versus Morocco. This is going to be a really difficult game. I'm really excited for it. I'm going to say 2-1 to France in extra time. And I'm going to say that Ousmane Dembele scores the winning goal in this one. I think France will have another difficult game. I think Morocco will be a bit more open, which will allow them more chances. But I think Morocco will give as good as they get. But I think France are getting through. Spain versus Belgium on Friday. I'm going to say 2-0 Spain. I think Belgium were very good against the US, but they were poorly defensively. I think Spain will have a bit more control in this game, and I think they'll just get the job done against a Belgium side who are decent, but they're not quite there. Saturday, England are playing Norway. Oof. I'm going to say that England win 2-1. No, I'm going to say England win on penalties. I think it's going to be 2-2. I think, you know, Harden's probably going to score. But I think England are going to win on penalties here. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be tight. England are going to have a real difficult time with Erling Haaland, but I think we win on penalties. I think, you know, Pickford is a man who, I mean, the Norway goalkeeper also, I mean, he made some fantastic saves. He knows how to save a penalty, but I think England will win on penalties here. I really do. And then the final quarter-final, Argentina-Switzerland. I think it's going to be 2-1 Argentina. That I just, you know, Switzerland are a decent side. I've been impressed with them at this tournament, but I just think, like, Messi, it'll probably be Messi. It'll be Messi who scores the winner here. Something will just happen. There'll be a moment and Argentina will win it. It does kind of seem like the script for this tournament now. But I think Argentina will probably just get the job done here. And yeah, that is my thoughts on this part of the tournament, the last 16 and the quarterfinals. Overall, I'm a lot more excited about England's chances, I've got to say. I think we do have a good chance now of winning the tournament. Whether we will is another thing. Refereeing has been pretty shoddy in a lot of games, I've got to say. That is something that needs to be dealt with. It needs to be a lot better. And yeah, but we did have some very exciting games. Mexico, England, Brazil, Norway, in particular, are the ones that stand out to me. But that's my thoughts, guys. Let me know in the comments. Did the round of 16 go the way you thought? By the way, my predictions video for that, review my predictions, will be up probably sometime after this video, so stay tuned for that. Go check out my other prediction videos as well. What do you think? Do you think the refereeing has been a bit suspect in this? Let me know. And until next time, folks, this has been another TomTalks.